All right, what's up, you guys? I have a special guest, Monica from All About the Tea. How you doing?
Hey Wiley, how are you?
I'm doing wonderful. I want to ask you, how are you doing? Because you have just been in these YouTube streets, just they're just talking about you all over YouTube.
Child, look, it's a mess. Listen, I've always wanted to trend, okay, but not like this, Wiley. Not like this. Not like this. Yeah, it's been a rough week. I'm not gonna lie.
One of the questions that I always want to ask you, that one of the criticism you get, they said she uses an avatar. Why do you use this avatar? Are you under secret protection? Are you in witness protection? Like, why do you use the avatar?
Wiley, not house arrest, not house arrest, not witness protection program, child. Well, for situations like this, Wiley, I've gotten death threats as a result of the backlash of people just attacking me. Everybody think they know. Everybody and their mama talking about this mess and threatening my kids and my husband. Could you imagine if I showed my face? CPS would be at my door every other week.
Mm.
Investigating a false report.
Absolutely. You're definitely right about that. People have a lot of stuff to say about you. I just want to know, are you a black woman or a white woman? Because that's an all white man, because they brought race into this.
I know. Well, I'm a black woman. I am African American. I have 4 kids. I have a husband. I was listen, they can say what they want. I don't really care. It's a lot of noise, a lot of chatter, but I hate when they go after people like Monica Sauls, she's an executive at Bojangles Chicken. They called her job. They went on her website. They went on her YouTube. They harassed her, threatened her, put up pictures of her kids. It's just a hot mess. I am not that woman. She is not me. But that's why I keep the avatar. Could you imagine?
Let me ask you this.
Mm-hmm.
Did Tasha K tell you to use me, to manipulate me, and pay me $5,000? Can you answer that? Because that was like one of the allegations that I were paid to just come out and just defend you, and Tasha K told you to use Wiley.
Absolutely not. Wiley and I've always known Wiley. I've been a fan of his show, but the first video he made about this topic, we hadn't even talked like verbally. You've never spoke to me verbally. I mean, we've seen each other. You've been in my comment section before. I've been in your comment section, but there was never a verbal conversation between you and I prior to your first video. So you didn't even hear my side of it. You just went in, you did your research, you came back with your report, and it was non-biased, was unbiased, had nothing to do with me. And after that, and I saw it, and you had me cracking the hell up. I'm not gonna lie. We connected, we spoke, and you're just a beautiful person, Wiley.
And I remember being in your, because at first I was like, oh, I don't know who that is. And I didn't know that I was in the chat, that I was comments, because I had to go back into my history. That I did go over to their channel. I did watch their channel. And I'd be in a lot of chats, but the way they was assuming that it was a white guy. And and I was looking for the white guy, because they kept
they even said a white man owns my company. No, ma'am. No, sir. I am the CEO and owner of my business. There's no white person that's ever owned my company. I've never had investors in my business. I've always been the sole proprietor of my business, All About the Tea. And that includes all media companies underneath All About the Tea.
And I was looking at that because I went on your website and you talk about celebrity gossip and really reality shows. And I'm not an expert in reality shows. I'm starting to watch it now because I know how lucrative it is now. And I was just getting caught up on so much. Your website will keep you updated on any type of reality show that's in the market. And so I just want to thank you for that.
Well, thank you. We've been in existence now a little bit, 8 years, and we provide fresh tea. Is spilled on there, new content daily. So thank you. I appreciate it.
I want to ask you this, though. Will you be bringing back the panel? Because I heard Tasha K, she came out and said, you don't need a panel. Open up the phone lines. Open up the phone lines. You don't need the panel. You don't
Yeah,
need the
she
panel.
told me that. She told me that. She told me that. I think she told me that before all this mess went down. She was like, "Yeah, scrap the panel. You don't need them. Monica, do it yourself." She's always said that. She's a firm believer in it. And I don't know. I don't know, Wiley. Should I? You want to be on the panel? I think you'd be an excellent panelist.
I would love to be on the panel because I like panels because what it is especially if content creators come together or different voices come together. If The View can be The View and be lucrative for almost 25 years, why can't Monica from All About the Sea have a panel as well? But the thing about it is when you do it, be humble and do not worry about the next person. If the next person get praised, don't take offense because sometimes Whoopi get dragged or sometimes Jay Behar get the praise, but you don't see Whoopi leaving The View. She's still there getting that check. And I think that's something that we need to realize, that it's okay if the next person get praised or if the next person get pushed. Just be humble and continue to do the show because at the end of the day, your brand is strong. You're talking about 8 years with a website that garnered thousands and millions of people, that readers that reach your site, and then of course you have thousands and up to the millions that watch your YouTube channel. So I was like, continue it. You just have to continue with the right group of folks that won't see opportunity and try to drag you for it. That's the thing, and it's difficult because you really don't know until you actually get people on the panel.
Exactly. And people say, well, I would get people that I know. You don't know people that you know, you don't know.
You know.
Right. People that you know that can do the same exact thing that's happened to me. I go with energy and people, how I feel someone's heart is. I don't care if I know you or don't know you. That it really doesn't matter to me. But I think you would be an excellent panelist.
I would be excellent because number one, you're dealing with somebody that went through the trenches, that have fallen out with people, and now I know how not to fall out with somebody. I know that if it doesn't work, I don't take it personal. I move on. Because I have worked with other content creators and it didn't work out, but we never dragged each other. We just say, okay, brother, it didn't work. We, see you when I see you. But you got to have that history. Some of these new folks, unfortunately, they don't have that testimony. They just started, they became a fan. They never had a YouTube channel. Their first experience was all about the tea. Wiley is different. I come from a different background, so my history and my spirit is different because I know how to handle a disagreement, and I don't have to take everything personal when it comes to the boss. If she do something or if she don't respond to my text, I won't. Oh my gosh, I'm over it.
You not running to YouTube. You're not running to YouTube.
I'm about to drag her. You didn't answer my text. My boss don't always answer my text. Don't always answer my phone calls. And I never went to the job and be like, oh, you didn't answer blah, 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 blah. I'm leaving this blankly blank. That's not professional because other folks will be looking like, oh, we can't deal with this person because what if we don't answer that text? They might trigger us.
Damn, right? Yeah, that's a trigger. You never know what's a trigger for someone. And again, I don't want to go into too much details, but, conflating issues, bringing up one more, other things outside of what happened on the panel in the same discussion with me, things that happened in your childhood, and then crying in the same breath, it confuses people. They're like, oh man, Monica didn't return a phone call, but then you see the tears and it's like, damn, Monica's a monster. I didn't make that person cry because I didn't return a phone call. That person's crying because they were talking about another issue in their personal life. But you see how issues can get conflated. It is what it is. I'm just so ready to move on and spill some tea, Wiley.
Yeah, let's spill it.
I
want to ask you, Monica, about this. When I saw the interview that Adam announced with, is it Flyann Guobadia? I hope I'm saying her last name correctly.
Mm-hmm.
She went last. I don't want to show a picture because
Wait, Wiley, before we do that, can I just answer a few questions?
Yeah.
Some people said that I've been on your show before. Have I ever been on your show before?
No. Let me correct this. What happened is we had a conversation and I reviewed the conversation on Patreon. It was a caller that sounded like you, and the majority of the chat said, oh, that was her. So I'm like, oh, okay, let's rechange the title, the title and say Monica called in. But once I listened back
Oh,
to it, I'm like, okay, this wasn't somebody that it sounded like it, but it wasn't really you. Because once I listened to the voice is different. That's what
okay.
it was. Because everybody was like, you need to change this title. She was on your show and you trying to keep it a secret. But on
Yeah,
Patreon, I reviewed our conversation. We talked. I didn't record it because you said don't record the conversation. But I
right.
reviewed it, and the people that was over there was like, Wiley, she confirmed everything that you said. So that could just tell you that you're not a liar because you confirmed every single thing that we talked about hours and hours before you went live.
Right, right. Okay, so okay, we got that cleared up. I've
Yes,
never been. It's my first
this
time.
is the
I
first time.
embrace in the presence of the
Yes,
Wiley Show. Okay, I'm just
yes.
so happy to be here.
Okay. And there's people still in here saying, oh, it sounded like her, it is what it
Uh-huh.
is. But you're here today. And
Okay.
you're sounding good. And I'm just
Thank
like, look
you.
at this sister. And I love being around sisters that are bosses. Because it's nothing like a boss like
Uh-huh.
a sister. I really love
Thank
that.
you.
And
Thank you.
I'm just honored to have you here.
I'm honored to be here. Thank you. It's truly a pleasure. I love you. I love this channel. I love everything you do. You're hilarious, Wiley. You have me cracking up. Crack
Yes.
it up. Okay. Mhm.
So are you ready to I really want to get your thoughts on this interview of Miss Fallon Guobadia. She went on Up and Adam, another up
Mm.
and coming YouTube channel, and she did an interview and she talked about her breakup with her husband Simon Guobadia. I hope I'm saying his last name right because he's African. And so
Guobadia.
while she was doing the interview, the first look, because first impression means a lot. It looked like she didn't have on a bra.
She didn't. Listen, the tatas was sitting up and sitting up. She looked good, didn't she? She didn't need
Yeah,
no
she
bra.
looked good.
She didn't need no bra. Shoot, I wish I could do what she does, baby. She didn't need a slingshot for them things. They was
Look
just
at it.
sitting.
Like she didn't have,
Ooh.
it was literally up there and she had on the all and the all white. So wow. And anybody that works in type of media or media training, white is a good type of color to wear when you do an interview because it comes out like you're pure, you don't have any baggage, you're
Mhm.
coming, you're being humble. But what was your first impressions of her on this interview?
First impressions were, listen, baby, the look, you are giving me rich divorcee. I just made a bag from my wealthy husband tease. Okay. She looked amazing. The hair was just perfectly laid. Her makeup was perfect, but not overdone. The white was pure like a virgin. Okay. She looked
Yeah.
good. That was my impression. Yes.
And I want to say this one in this interview, I was expecting her to come out and cuss Simon out, be this angry black woman. That's what I was expecting. And I think the
Yes.
audience was expecting that, but it wasn't that. When he
Mm-mm.
asked her who told her to get on Atlanta Housewives, I did not know that it was her husband. Typically, it'd be the wives that want to be on Atlanta Housewives, that want to be on reality TV. And she said, no, my husband Simon said, be on this show. And he said it will help. Now, this one I couldn't believe. It will help my spiritual journey to be on the reality show. Now, I don't know about you. What is so spiritual of being on Atlanta Housewives, getting cussed out, getting dragged, having people to stab you in the back? What is so spiritual about that? So I didn't understand about to that. For that, I'm like, girl, really? Your husband told you to join Atlanta Housewives to help your spiritual growth? Now I can understand going to Pastor Jamal Bryant church, you know what I'm saying, and he might try to screw you, but I can see that trying to help your spiritual growth and get some peen on the side. But you going to Atlanta Housewives, I don't see how that's going to help your spiritual growth. And
I don't see it.
I just don't get it. I guess she talked, I guess her husband, he's, Africans, they talk, and that's nothing against Africans, but they are really good when it comes to words.
Yeah.
When it comes, they're way much better than American blacks. And when they talk about them African, they know how to talk that game. They're real good with that mouth.
Mm-hmm.
Not
Mm-hmm.
careful, they be selling you all these false dreams, and it'd just be like, woo, and I'm like, but and he was just, take your credit. Not all,
Oh Lord. Ooh,
not all,
ooh,
not all of
child.
them, but some will definitely try it. And when I was listening to this interview, and then she said the first time being around the camera crew, this was the first. He said, "Is this the first time you've been around the camera crew?" She said she acted since she was 9 years old, and I didn't see any of her acting credits. I would have loved for her to say what movie she was a part of. So I was trying to research, couldn't find it. But she said this was the first time she was on a reality show. So with this, when I heard that, and I'm like, okay, you're on this reality show. Anybody know about reality shows? The producers want you to be messy. So
Mhm.
if I go to Monica, she executive producer, and I say, Monica, I had a library situation, I had a mental breakdown, I caused a lot of damage, but I don't want that on the show. I just don't want them. I have bipolar. The police tased me. Please don't bring this on the show. I just don't want it on the show. So you see the cameras, and everything that I said they'll bring up, they bring up. And that is what, Fallon was talking about, that what she did not want to be brought up, they brought it up on the show. But that is what makes a good show.
Right, exactly. I mean, I don't know what imaginary world she lives in, but that's what reality television is all about. They don't want to see you in church. They don't want to see it, picket white fence and everything is just, hunky dory and you and the kids running around the pool. No, they want to see the mess. Okay, that's it. Especially Real Housewives of Atlanta. I mean, what did she expect?
Right. So she was upset because of racial slur. She said the racial slur they kept, the castmate called her, and they call her Ching Chong. Now, I didn't take offense to it because I'm not of Asian descent. But I don't think there's none to really be upset upon me. Honestly, I don't. I don't really get upset if you call me the N word. That's really stuff that doesn't really bother me. But if somebody called you a racial slur, Monica, how would you handle? Would you leave the show? Would you clap back? Would you be angry? How would you handle that situation if someone called you a racial slur on the show?
Well, if I was her, I would have dressed it a little bit better than the way she did because, she says she's a businesswoman and a boss lady and all this other stuff. So I was kind of expecting her to maybe handle it like what Elisa Vanderpump would have handled it, or give her, give Latoya a good old read like Nene, but running and acting all aggressive and crazy to get the golf club was a bit much. It was. It's a little bit too much. Like, girl, come on now. You was looking for a moment and you got it.
So you think that was? I think that was much true. You know what I'm saying? I always say, was she drunk or was she high? Because that didn't cause for all that. It really did. Even I looked at a video. It was a white woman in Popeyes, and she called this black man the N word. So the employee decided to follow the white woman outside the parking lot, outside to the parking lot, and he body slammed her. And I'm like, that's too much. And now he's sitting in jail right now, heading to prison, and it didn't take all that. It's just
No,
you got to be very careful. It's just a word. Just walk away. But if you do damage, who's going to end up in jail? You. Now, what if she
right?
hit somebody with that and they would have knocked down? They had a concussion. She'd have had a record. So it didn't take all that. And she did want a moment. And she tried to act like, oh, I don't want a moment. I'm innocent. I didn't really want to do it. But girl, you did it because you wanted to be on TV. You wanted the clout.
Absolutely.
So then it gets to the juicy stuff about the divorce, made headlines this month. And Adam asked her, how did you find out about the divorce? And she said, I found out what everybody else was just DMing me about it. That's how she found out when the rest of the world found out. That have to be hurtful to find out
Hmm.
that somebody else, not you get a divorce, but your husband is engaged to a woman you had in your home, that y'all was a part of the same show. Monica, you was a woman. How would you handle that if your husband will date one of your former co-workers on your show, or on a show that you were a part of? How would you handle that situation?
Listen, better. Listen, she started tearing up, and certain parts of that interview when she was tearing up, I wasn't really. I was like, "Girl, you putting on a little bit, with the pocket squares, the tissues." But in that moment, I really felt her pain. You could see the hurt on her face and the embarrassment. I can't even imagine how she felt because that stuff is embarrassing. It has to be, and the world knows. because this is international news now. They're talking about this in Nigeria, Africa, all over the place. So I felt for her in that moment. I really, really did feel bad for her. But you know what stuck out to me is she said things changed in the marriage when they started filming the show. So did things change when Porsha came over and was in the pool and Simon saw that big old booty and was like, he called up the divorce lawyer and started making plans for wife number 4. I mean, look, it's very telling that things changed in the marriage when they started filming.
And she said that, and she started to tear up, and I felt that too. And then when she said that, I'm like, oh yeah, he saw Porsha, and he was already making it that, oh, this will be my new wife. I will marry her. You know, it is my. He saw it, and it's something else that he said in this interview that I had him ask a very good question. He said, "Do you blame Porsha for the divorce?" And she was saying, "Nobody has the power over our marriage." This is a quote from her. She blamed she said both her and Simon is to blame. So she did not blame Porsha.
Mm-hmm.
The thing about it is the reason why I don't think she wanted to drag Porsha and all of that, because she understands the power that Simon have and what he can do to her. So I think that even though she's speaking out, she's still not telling you everything because she knows the type of power that Simon have. And I don't think she want to get on his bad side, even though he drags her before the interview came out. But I think she know that Simon can handle what she really want to say. And I think she was holding back. But I do believe that Porsha is to blame because she is to blame in this situation. Because I just can't say y'all just started hanging out and after they filed for a divorce. I don't believe that. I think they were hanging out before he filed for a divorce. They was messing around.
Oh yeah.
I think that's the key, and I think that either she's slow or she don't know. But I really believe that they've been hanging out way before January of this year.
Absolutely. I mean, she said things changed in the marriage when they started filming. So I mean, let's call a thing a thing. Let's put 2 and 2 together. I mean, it don't take rocket science to see what happened. Porsha came on that show. Simon saw that cornbread fed booty, and he fell in love. And Porsha was probably flirting with him, giving him the goop. Meanwhile, Fallon's running around with a golf club. Porsha's sitting in her kitchen, giving her husband the googly eyes, flirting with him, and seduced that man. And now she has him. She wrong. That's some scallywag stuff.
I'm looking at, because he asked about the age and everything like that. You marry him for his wealth and for his age. And she was like, no, the prenups say different. And when you sign a prenup, that's because if you didn't sign one, if you didn't have one, okay, you want for the money. But if you sign a prenup, I really think she loved him. I really think she loved him. And they've been together off and on, according to her, like what, 7 years?
5 years, she said.
Like 5 years they've been together off and on. So this is nothing like she just wanted for the money, and she fell in love with his children. And that hurt her. Like I felt her pain. Like, oh my God, this was good. I would do birthday parties for them, and I would do, tuck them into bed. And now I can't do that anymore. And she was just really crying and tearing up. So I don't think that she's doing it to chase clout. I really believe that she's hurt, and the way that her husband handled this situation that was just even worse.
Messy.
That was very messy. It was and he's a very messy, narcissist man. I see it all up and through him. That's what he is. And this is the thing. When they was in couples therapy, she was like, the therapist was like, well, did you ever cheat on Fallon? Did you ever cheat on your wife? And I want to get that quote. Simon gets caught only if Simon wants to get caught. I think that was the quote of what he said. And I was like, that is a dangerous man. Yeah. I personally believe that he have always cheated on her. He have always had side pieces. And Porsha is just the one that we know of, that with the popularity and all of that. And I think Simon want to be all hip with the young folks in this American culture because he love it. This is something for fun. And Porsha good with it as long as she get, more money in her bank account and more fame. But I don't think that she likes Simon for his looks.
No, please.
For the money. It's the money. Let's just be
Yeah.
clear here. It's the money.
It's the money. You know what's so sad too? On his birthday, she posted photos with his children.
Wow.
And technically Fallon is still their stepmother because she's still married to Simon. So I thought that was pretty foul. She moving foul out in these streets. How you get them is how you keep them. I'm telling you.
I'm not gonna have them long. I'm telling you, this relationship is not gonna last long. Because Simon cannot be committed. You know what I'm saying? He have too much power. And he knows this, and he's not willing. And in African, the culture is different than American culture. They believe in Africa to have multiple wives. It's not uncommon for you to have 6 or 7 wives. It's just not uncommon for you to. It's just that's not uncommon. So when it comes to American, you might look at that. Oh my gosh, but you got to understand, this man is not. He's born in Nigeria, wherever he's born from, is not in America. It's somewhere in Africa. So his whole idea of a relationship is totally different of what we might think a relationship is back here in America. And Porsha, as a black woman, I think that she's wrong because you should not do your sister like that. Because this is nasty. You see how she's crying. I hope that Porsha watched that interview and see those tears. And I don't know how she get to sleep at night, because how can you do your sister like this and do it so publicly? You're not handling this privately. You're going so public. You're talking about it on Dish Nation. You're getting a tattoo on your neck. It's like y'all doing.
She planning a whole wedding.
Yes, multiple weddings.
Right.
Not just one, but a couple of them.
Right. My thing is back in my day, I'm of a certain age group. Side chicks stayed in their place. They didn't do stuff like this. And technically, Porsha I know she's an engaged side chick, but technically she's still a side chick. And she's doing all this stuff publicly. No remorse for Fallon. Could care less how Fallon feels. Fallon's on the TV crying. I started crying a little bit too. It's like, damn. Planning weddings, 3 weddings, showing off the ring, all hugged up on his kids, going on vacations. You're doing too much. You're doing too much. There's no respect. All this stuff, I'm telling you, when you do wrong, you do evil, it comes right back to you. Karma's a bitch.
And when did she go through it? She's going to be on that crying. She's going, it didn't work. And this still Porsha fate, because at the same time she's on reality TV. She's a veteran, and now she understands the formula. Now she knows she needs drama. She needs some controversy. So this will seal her fate for the next season. And it's going to be real nasty. And if I was Fallon, I would join the next season of Real Housewives of Atlanta if I were her.
She need to. Oh, God, they need to offer her double the salary.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Can you imagine that storyline, the drama that's going to be on that show?
Listen, I've been saying, forget about the rest. Who care about Kandi and the old lady gang, okay? Unless Kandi burns down the old lady gang or the feds swoop in and arrest her for PPP fraud, we don't care. Okay, bring Nene back. I want Nene. I love me some Nene leaks. Kenya, unless you're gonna have Mark up there, with the whole drama and the fake divorce and the fake marriage and stuff, please leave Kenya off too. Shamia we need, because Shamia was the matchmaker, so we need her.
I think they should bring back Phaedra. I would love to see her.
Yes,
because she offered some drama, and I think because right now Atlanta Housewives is just really not it's just off. Do you see that? I know you've been watching for years. Is it off to you?
To me, this seemed like the finals. Last season seemed like the final season. Wow. Cynthia got married. Okay, so she's finally found love again. She's out of debt. She dropped the 0, got with a hero. Allegedly. I wouldn't call him a hero, but so her story's all wrapped up. She's done. Okay. Marlo finally got into Kenya's house after all these years. Her storyline is done. Kandi, Riley's off to college. Okay. Her and Todd are okay, good. She's had more kids and she's opened up multiple businesses. Her storyline is done. To me, it just was the end of the road last season. Andy Cohen knew, listen, I got to do something, because people were just complaining. Do you think this whole thing with Simon is a setup? I
think it is a setup. I really believe it is a setup.
A scheme.
Because Simon, the one that got in his wife ear and said, join Atlanta Housewives. So he is good with production. So I personally believe that he got on it, got production, got in his ear, said, "Why don't you date Porsha? This will be great." And it is all for clicks and views. And when people talk about YouTube, they does that a lot in network television. They know how to keep the people engaged. When the ratings were dropping, because it did drop. I mean, Real Housewives did not
Bad.
get the ratings they used to. They have to think of something to keep the people entertained. And this will keep the people entertained for the next season. I'm definitely want to see it. And I think it will be dope to really see Fallon just pop up, to set it up, just to confront Porsha. I would love to see that.
Yeah, we need to see that. Listen, forget about the rest of the cast. Like I said, just give me Porsha, Simon, Fallon, Shamia, because she was the matchmaker. She brought them together. If y'all want to throw in Mama Joyce in there, just because, just go ahead and throw in Mama Joyce. We don't need Candy and Todd. We don't need.
Because Candy and Todd is dry and Candy is boring. And one thing about it, she's really good with her business, but her personality is whack. She's not entertaining to be.
No.
You know what I'm saying? I would like for T.I. and Tiny to be on there.
Oh, and the white fan?
Yes. I would like all of them to come on it and replace Candy, because they offer more entertainment, it's more drama with them. What they need is, the reason why I fell in love with Atlanta Housewives is because they offer so much drama. The reading, and it was like, oh my God, it was like different storylines to different people that you really was falling in love with. But now it's looking like, I've seen this before. It's like they're just doing it for a check. It's not authentic, even though most reality is kind of scripted, but I don't really feel that passion. They need people on there that's really passionate about what they're doing.
Right. It seems like the girls are making their money, they're making their coin, and they seem to have matured past the drama they used to do, that they used to bring. And it was just not working for me. That was the worst season ever. And I think Todd might have set up the scheme with Simon and Porsha to come out with the bullshit. Listen, Andy Cohen had to do something to save his show. Okay.
Right, because I like Real Housewives of Potomac is more having drama, but I'm hearing that they having drama over there. So I listen, I'm getting back into reality TV, because once I start getting into all about the tea, I'm like, okay, let me start watching reality shows again. Because I have stopped for about 5 years watching reality TV. I have stopped, and so I was reading your blog, and I was like, okay, all right, which show coming back? Potomac is coming back in July, right?
Yep, July 11th, I believe. Yeah, it's gonna be good.
I'm gonna be watching that and reviewing that, because I have to get back into it, because I'm like, okay, let's get back into these reality shows and let me get some cable, because the last reality show that I did talk about was T.S. Madison. I watched that, but that was so short. But I want to watch reality show where there's multiple characters, and it's like at least about 13, 14 episodes where I'm really engaged and I talk about it with the audience and we just really get messy. So I'm definitely going to be watching Real Housewives of Potomac, because I heard that it's going to be real good the new season.
It is. Listen, we got to watch it together and maybe review it together, because it's cheating scandal. Wendy Usafo's husband. Listen, the white woman allegedly at the law firm and the baby. Oh, child, listen, it's some good stuff. Yeah. Okay. All right.
I would ask you this when it comes to doing this job, Monica. You got called out from a doctor. I can't think of the doctor's name. But she was like, it's this blog that's been going around trashing me, and now she having problems. How do you deal with that? Because I think you told the doctor to kiss your ass.
Yeah, kiss my black ass. I did.
Like, Dr. Wendy was her name?
It's the nature of the business. You on a reality show. Did you really expect this not to somehow come out? I don't make the news. I just report it. All right? Okay, so it is what it is. Somebody said allegedly black. Okay, allegedly black ass. Y'all a trip. Listen, shout out to the teacups and the moderators. I see a lot of my mods in the chat. Shout out to Sassy, Dalvin. Okay, low key. I see y'all.
I love, like, your brand is strong, and I know you have something great coming. Everybody wanted me to ask you is when you're going to return back to YouTube. Is it a schedule that you're going to do? Do you know what you're going to do for these up and coming days?
I'm gonna be on there tonight. I'll be
Oh yeah.
on there tonight live. I'm gonna drop a link pretty soon. I'm not gonna tell you the time because everybody try, but I will be on there tonight spilling tea, and I hope everybody tunes in.
Yes,
Okay.
I'm there for it. I'm glad you coming back and not stop because I was like, please do not let this make you feel.
Oh, no, no, no. And just for clarification, too, a lot of people have been saying, well, you haven't been on YouTube for 8 years. That is right. I've been on YouTube for a year and a half, but I've had my blog and my media company for 8 years. And All About the Tea has been featured TMZ, People Magazine, Wendy Williams Show, The Breakfast Club, E! News, Radar Online. It's so many publications and outlets I can't even think of right now, but we've been in the business for a very long time. Bravo, we've been on Bravo TV, We TV. Just the other like a month, I think, or weeks ago, we were on Black Ink Crew. So yeah, we've been all over Bravo on all the Housewives shows. So definitely been out in these streets for a while.
You've been in these streets and you got receipts to bag it up. So when people
Yes.
try to come at you, come on now. Don't do it. Don't try. She is a boss. And and a
Thank
lot
you.
of times people don't do their research. They don't go and like research the blog and really look at when it first started. They just go and try to trash you. But I do want to bring this up, Monica. It's gonna get a little
Yeah.
messy.
Oh,
I
okay.
was looking at Straight from the A.
Mhm.
She got on her platform and was trashing you.
Okay.
Michelle Brown. She
Uh-huh.
was like, "That's a white man." I'm like,
Uh-huh.
"Whoa! Like, where is this coming from?" And she was like, posting screenshots. How do you
Mhm.
respond to that?
God bless her. I have no ill will towards Michelle. I don't know why she think I do. I think this all came from she has a beef or something with Funky Dineva. And all I said to Dineva was, I'm sorry you're going through all of this. And ever since then, it's been just a snowball of attacks. But God bless her. She's human. I don't wish her any ill will. She's very talented. She's been in the business for a long time. And I respect what she does. Am I a white person? No. Am I a white male? Absolutely not. I am a Black woman. I have children. I have a husband. And that's all I have to say on it. She
I,
can, you know.
I definitely had to ask you this because Funky Dineva said something that kind of triggered me, and he
Okay.
said, "quote She smell like fish." Do you
Mm.
believe that she smelled like fish? Do you believe that? Have you heard that? Have you ever got DMs about that? Because he kept saying, "Oh, she smelled very fishy."
You messy, Wiley.
I'm
You
not.
are very
Really,
messy.
I'm just asking you a question
Oh,
because
you're
he
so
kept putting
messy.
saying he fishy and she smelled fishy and stuff like that. I want to ask you, did you ever get DMs about that?
I've never met her in person. So have I seen that? Have I heard that? Absolutely. Can I confirm that? Absolutely not. And I don't support that. I don't think it's good to call a woman, say that about a woman. That's just hitting below the belt. But that's between him and her. Sometimes when you mad and you're trying to spray someone, nothing's off limits. That would be off limits for me because that's a fellow woman. She's beautiful. I've never smelt her. I've never been around her to smell her, so I can't confirm or deny it. But it's none of my business. That kind of stuff is just so just things
Last
out.
question with this. They even sent the Claudia Jordan from Fox Soul.
Uh-huh.
She even said Gary Coleman, that Michelle Brown looked like
Uh-huh.
Gary Coleman. I want to ask you, do she look like Gary Coleman to you? Because she don't look like, to me, she's a beautiful Black woman. But I want to ask you, a fellow Black woman in this game, do you agree with Claudia Jordan from Fox Soul assessment of Michelle Brown that she looks like Gary Coleman?
I wish you could see my face right now. My mouth is hanging open. Wiley, they said you was messy now. They warned me. They said, girl, be careful. No, I don't think she looks like Gary. I've heard that as well. Michelle's a beautiful girl. She is. She's a beautiful girl. I will not take that from her. She's a beautiful smile. I love when she wears her glasses and her braids. She's a fellow Black woman like me. So no, I'm not going to go there with anyone's looks and that kind of, that's getting a little petty. And Claudia Jordan, she's the last person that should be talking about anybody. Colorist Jordan, right? That's what they call her. And that's a fact. You're talking about Michelle smells and what she looked like. I don't know about any of that. But I know for a fact that Claudia is a colorist. That's a fact.
All
Yeah.
right.
I mean, we have video proof of it. I mean, come on.
Okay, I had to ask you because I was like, okay, one of my producers said, ask her that question. I'm like, I'm gonna say, ask you the question because it was brought up.
Y'all messy. Shout out to the producers. Y'all messy.
They was like, ask her. So I'm just so
Yeah.
glad to, have you on
Thank
and we talk on.
you.
And I can't wait to like come on your show again because when I was on your show, let me tell you, I was on your show and I was on it for a couple of minutes.
Uh-huh.
I was getting so many phone calls, so many threads. They were trashing me. And I just gave my honest opinion. I just gave my honest opinion of how I really felt about the situation. No one paid me. I wish people would pay me so I have to stop working, but no one paid me.
No.
I just sat there and I just boom, boom. This is what I want to say. Boom, 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 boom.
Mm-hmm.
And it makes it easier once you cross-eyed and you're funny. It was kind of boring. I'm cockeyed, no personality. That's kind of worse. But when you're cockeyed and have a personality, you're funny. I'm like, I'm really here for it. Blah, 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 and I said what I said. And and most people in this business can't deal with folks talking about them and if you can talk about other people, you got to be able to take. I can take people talking about me. That's why I can talk about other people, because I can take them clapping back at me. But I did it because it was the right thing to do. That's what I saw on YouTube. So if anything on YouTube I see, I try to dissect it and give my honest opinion. Nobody be like, Wiley, this is Monica. I need you to defend me. Nobody have to do that. And I don't think Monica will ever do that. Too grown.
Right. First of all, I'm too grown. I'm way too grown for that. I can defend myself. But like I said, your first video that you made about All About the Tea drama, you and I hadn't even spoken on the phone. You didn't hear my side of it. You had no input from me.
Absolutely.
So it was totally unbiased. And listen, I make it very clear to everybody out there, I'd be damned if I pay anybody $5,000. Y'all got wild imaginations. Maybe 500, but not no $5,000 now. Okay. No, it ain't that serious. It really ain't that serious. No, we hadn't spoken. You did that on your own. And I thanked you because, again, you saw a different side of it. You saw a different perspective. It was unbiased and it was funny as hell. You had me rolling. The whole house was rolling.
Yes. Wow. Thank you so very much, Monica.
You're welcome.
I want to give a special shout out. Make sure y'all thumbs up the video and subscribe, you guys. You just really got me just this itch of just diving into reality TV, because when I watch a show, I'm like, okay, I got to get more into the mess. And it's a lot of shows that you could be messy about.
Right. Yeah.
So I want to just thank you for that, because you have just been a blessing to me. Just short amount of time, you have been a blessing, and you have gave me some advice, and you don't mind giving advice. If you're nice offline, you're very nice. Even on camera, you're not this nasty, mean woman that they're trying to paint you as. You're just not. That's not true.
Thank you, Wiley. Thank you. Oh, you know what? I want to address two more things before I go. Can I address?
Yes, you can. Yes.
Tasha K and I are friends. I didn't pay Tasha or anything like that to stand up for me. And I never had an interview planned with Tasha. Okay, people are saying Tasha turned me down for it. We never talked about an interview. She called me to lend advice, support, and comfort me and give me, pour love into me. It had nothing to do about no interview or anything of that nature. There was only one blogger I had agreed to do an interview with, and I had to pull out of it because the terms of the interview were violated. We talked about a pre-recorded video, and the person called me 30 minutes before and said, "Hey, you ready to go live?" And I was like, "What? That's not what we agreed to. We agreed to a pre-recorded video." And then after that, I had to back out of it because if we can't get the details correct the first time, then we need to go our separate ways. Right. And Wiley, did I promise you an interview or anything of that nature?
No, it wasn't a promise. You said, "Hey, you could come on the show," and that's what we talked about. It wasn't a promise. No one stole something, and I'm so glad you cleared it up, because we talked about this particular person offline.
Right.
And I was so, I'm like, oh my God, this woman keeps on talking about she's going on the beef sector. I'm like, what are you talking about? This is YouTube, But anyway. She was so angry, upset, but you can't change the agreement of an interview just like that. You can't do that. If you say pre-recorded, it's pre-recorded. You can't say, "Oh, I'm live. Come on, girl, come on live."
If you want, I can send you the receipt right now where she said that. Let me pull that up for you real fast and send it to you. So you want to put it on the screen, you can. Do you want that, Wiley?
You can send it to. I'll put it on my Patreon because I'm gonna talk about her. I'm really gonna dive into
Oh,
her
okay. I'll
on
send it
Patreon.
to you.
Oh, okay,
Yeah,
so y'all
because it
can
says in the
subscribe to
text
that.
message, I said, what happened? We were supposed to do pre-recording. She said, oh, I'm so sorry. And I said, it's okay. And that was it. So I'll send that to you. Yeah, it's a text message. It was
Yeah,
supposed to be a people said, well, she showed receipts. What receipts did she show? That we were going to do an interview? Yes, we were going to do an interview. But the terms of that interview were pre-recorded, and that's it, not live. And I have the receipt. I'll give it to you, Wiley.
yes, we're definitely gonna dive into it because she kept saying I stole something. No one stole anything, and we wish that woman much success. But I don't want to have 100,000 subscribers and averaging 3,000 views. I just don't want that because
Wiley,
when she
Wiley.
tried to throw shots and say, "Hey, Wiley have a small platform," I would rather have a small platform and garnering 5, 6, 7,000, 8,000 views than to have 100,000 subscribers and getting 2,000 views. Like, let's just be real here, girl. We let's not up here.
Wiley.
Let's not. But that's just all I gotta say about that. Because when people try to do a little thing and say, "Oh,
Oh.
Wiley got 3,000 subscribers," but I have impact. You know what I'm saying? I don't want 100,000 subscribers and you look at 3 people watching. No, I don't want that. I don't want that. No, I don't. No, I don't. No, I don't. Okay. All right. It is what it is. It is what it is. So a hit dog will holler, as they say. Okay.
Yeah, we wish her well. God bless her. Listen, everybody is monetizing off my pain. The All About the Tea hashtag was used over 70,000 times in the past 6 days. Yeah.
Wow. And you've been doing this live ever since a year. So, but you have been doing the panel not a year, right? How long you been doing the panel version of your show?
About a year, because I have a daytime panel and an evening panel. The evening panel was created 5 months ago.
Okay.
Yeah, it was created 5 months ago.
And the daytime panel is something like during a day, and you had that for like a year?
Right. Yes. Okay. Going back a whole year, and that was with professional media people who have media experience on camera. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh, yes. This was lovely. Anything else? I'm glad you addressed everything. We tried to ask you the questions that people wanted to know, and you're still here. You're still strong, and you're still releasing content, and that is a blessing. And I'm definitely going to be watching because I love the fact that you do nighttime shows. And because when you're doing lives at night, it's a different vibe than when you're doing it in the daytime. Because when I did a live talking about Nicki Minaj and talking about Cardi B and all of that last night, it was a different vibe. I got so many new male callers last night, and I rarely get that during the day. But I talked about something that they really like, and it was a lot of drunk callers too. But we can get into that. But I want to ask you, Monica, this is the last messy question. Do you think it is time for Nicki Minaj to retire?
No, she still got a lot of career in her left, and she's talented. She looked good. Did you see that post, baby body? Ooh, Nicki looked good. No, I think she still got a few records left in her.
Me personally, I just didn't like the song with Polo G. Honestly, I just think that sound-wise, she's just not there for me anymore. I just think that she's ready to go. From the music business, but I think she's just staying and just to satisfy her fans. But I wanted to ask her, I'm like, what does she have to say about Nicki Minaj? Do she think it's time to retire? But it's okay.
Yeah, I kind of like Nicki. I'm not a barb.
Okay.
I'm on the fence. I didn't like the way Remy came after her. I really didn't like that. I thought that was the way she came at her was real gutter snipe. And wrong and jealousy, coming for her, queendom, like some people like to do. They like to attack the queendom, but she held her own, and Nicki is still standing. I still think she has a lot of career left in her. I do.
Absolutely. I've when I talked about her last night, I get so many emails of people saying, "Oh, you're a hater," and I said, "No, I just give my opinion."
Yeah,
I think she's a beautiful Black woman. I just think her sound is just not really good because I listened to some of the songs. We talked about it last night, and I just want to say, y'all, Monica is on the Wiley Show. So now,
can I address one more thing really fast? Because you got a hater in the chat, Christina Serrano. No, I don't get into it with everyone. You're wrong, ma'am. And as a matter of fact, Sherelle and I put our beef behind us. World exclusive. Boom. Yeah, there you have it. Sherelle's World and Monica have made peace. We put our whatever beef we had, we put it aside. She actually reached out to me during this time, which to me was big of her, because considering she and I, we had this tension, and she showed me some compassion in my situation, and that meant a lot to me. And we were able to put our beef and everything behind us. No, Christina, that's not a true example of narcissism. That's just two Black queens, business women, saying, you know what, enough's enough, and it's time to move on.
Facts. Whatever they throw at you, you are definitely there. And I want to say, you don't mind clapping back. That's one thing I can say about Monica. And you do it so professional, okay? Okay.
Yes. Nice, nasty Monica. That's right, child.
Yes. Do you have on any lipstick today?
Wiley, you know what? Let me go. Let me log off. Wiley. Child, I cannot. They said, Monica, listen, Wiley, Bessie, child.
Okay.
Somebody,
you know.
you were best. You were West. Oh my goodness.
Okay.
Oh, this was fun.
This was fun. Thank you so very much. And I can't wait to see your live tonight. My notification bell is set on both of my channels, and I'm just ready for you to go live. Okay. I said I'm ready. I can't wait to do it.
All right, teacups and producers, thank you so much for having me on your platform, Wiley. You are killing it. You are so entertaining. You are so funny, and I feel honored to be here. So thank you for having me.
All right, thank you so very much, Monica. All right, you guys, this was lovely. Bye. Make sure y'all thumbs up the video and make sure y'all leave a comment. And we will see y'all soon in the next video. Tonight, I will be back live late night tonight as well. We're gonna be getting into Trina and Eve and all of the other stuff. And also, we're gonna be getting into an Asian guy that actually shot a 6-year-old Black boy. So we're gonna be talking about that tonight. So I would love to see y'all to join us. Thank you, Monica, again. Y'all have a wonderful, blessed day. Peace.